It's in your hand.
Okay. Yeah, taking control of your life. Did we have a caller?
He had a call, but he hung up.
What was his name?
He didn't say. He just called for the Wallace Radio Show.
Okay.
Yeah. Call back.
Yeah, let's hope that he calls back.
Call
I
back.
hope it was Jerome Ewing so we can get into his book. So, Jeffrey, are we talking about motivating, inspiring African Americans to read, to do research, to examine issues? And I wonder, do they hear our message every Sunday in terms of talking about what we're talking about? So is that what we're talking about? Are we talking about doing those things? And let me go to number 15. Not realizing that most of the people who founded the NAACP were actually white, and that this organization never really belonged to you in the first place. And that is some of the things that we're expounding upon at this table, on this panel today. Is that right, Jeffrey?
Absolutely.
Take us a little further up the road, please.
I'm going to try to hit all three of those, 13, 14, and 15 about the schools.
Okay.
Because all this to me, it have to do with what we place our values in, and that's what we call aesthetics. It depends on what your aesthetics are or what your values are. We're not up here saying that education altogether is not important. Please don't understand what we're saying. The question in 13, what he poses says, we're brainwashing, believing that
don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand.
Right. Don't misunderstand.
Right.
We're brainwashed and believing that institutions like Harvard and Yale are better than our own HBCUs like Spelman and Howard. And then it goes further on to say, well, not knowing that Spelman and Howard were founded by white people, by white men. And then number 15 throws into there not realizing that the NAACP was also formed by a group of white people. You see, there's a saying I remember, and it goes something like, you can't oppressed people cannot solve their own problems using the master's tools or something to that effect. That means that, if we continue to go to their educational institutions or value their educational process more than developing our own, then we're just going to continue to help to perpetuate the madness that we're caught up in, this insanity that we're caught up in, because we, like Brother Lonnie said, we can't expect for our solutions to come from the people that are oppressing us. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be very important that we, who are awake or who are trying to enlighten or inform the people around us, that we come up, we have to encourage them have certain measures or certain standards for our peers, the people around us, and our youth, our own children. We can't wait on the educational system to cater to our needs. Mm-hmm. We have to solve our own problems, and that means that we have to create our own school systems, our own educational systems, even if they are totally different than the standard that we have in front of us in the public schools. And then just to touch on number 15.
Yes.
I just always believe when I was in the NAACP, when we're talking about solving problems in the African American community, how can I say this? They've been pretty much inefficient. They beat around the bush. They don't want to expose the real problem. They don't want to say the truth unapologetically. They just they know we have a problem in the black community, but they want to beat around the bush and not be direct with the problem because they're up there rubbing shoulders with the people who have the power.
Okay, I'm a little confused now. You're saying something about rubbing shoulders and they. Well, are you talking about a mixture of so-called black people rubbing shoulders Europeans?
Well, it's politicized, and the NAACP have many political friends who are senators and congressmen.
Okay. So
They're
you're talking about a mixture?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then we're talking about a association for all colored people. So they're not necessarily about just all African American issues. They deal with African American issues, Hispanic issues, Native American issues. And because they do that, that kind of waters down. That kind of waters down the power that they would have to dealing with African American issues primarily. That's really the point that I'm trying to make. Because they're so diverse, their focus is not number one African Americans. It's everybody.
So would I be accurate in saying that African Americans tend to seek white folks approval, and that we missed the mark in terms of if we're setting up an educational system or whatever values or cultural aspects that we are going for, it must be tailor-made to address the needs of African Americans, and like Talut said, in terms of thinking about the children as well. Am I accurate in saying that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's look at something here. I find this amazing in 2015. Dr. Boyce Watkins, and listen, we can agree with Dr. Boyce Watkins. He has a ton of experience in education and insight, I might add. We can do that. But check this out. Is it true? Number 17, it says, believing that light-skinned women are more attractive than those with dark skin. Also, that's number 17, but number 16 before that says that thinking that straight hair is good and black hair is nasty and bad, I'm saying bad, then giving all of your money to Korean beauty shops so they can make you feel better about yourself. Now, how problematic, what is implied in those two statements, Omar?
What's implied is that black people are swimming in the sea of self-hatred. They are drowning in the ocean of white supremacy, holding on to a white God that can't save them because he was given to them by the enemy that put them in the sea of self-hatred. Until we learn who we are and the beauty of our own people, we're going to continue to suffer under the yoke of white supremacy. They are busy trying to get like us, but they make us think we need to be like them. They go out in the sun and get skin cancer trying to get a skin tone that looks like us. They'll take their hair and frizz it up to make it look like it's nappy and got some body to it. They'll go and get what they used to call Paris lips, which was nothing but some black folks' lips with skin injections to make them look like us. And even get some butt, because they ain't got none. Most of them look like an iron board on the backside. But they're going trying to fill it out because they really want the black man and they love the way the black woman looks. That's what I call an oxymoron. You want to look like your enemy, he be trying to look like you because he made you hate yourself. And you still have not changed even to this day. If we had any economic sense at all, we run the Koreans and the black people. We run them all the way out. We can give our dollars to anybody that look like anybody other than us. But because we don't have any economic sense, we've been brainwashed to believe that we should give our money to somebody else that don't look like us. We stay in the condition that we're in. We need to change.
Absolutely, absolutely. Number 18, knowing nothing about African history, Lonnie, but believing that every great accomplishment occurred in Europe. And I think we've touched on that, but let's go into it a little bit more. Starting with Christopher Columbus discovering a country that was well populated thousands of years before he arrived. So are we speaking the truth here at this table, or are we just sitting here making up stuff?
Everything that I have heard, I know it could be validated. And to number 18, where it says knowing nothing about African history, that's exactly what is going on right now. We know nothing. Only thing that our people, the blacks or African Americans, whatever you want to label us, and that's another tricky, touchy subject. You know, we're fighting over these names, even from Negroes to blacks to colored,
all that.
all of that. And what's missing is the history. And like I said before, it's a reason to me, and it's no coincidence that we have lost all our self-knowledge. It does remind me of certain stories in the scriptures about, you know, the Israelites, how they were always slaves to another nation, and they lost their heritage as well. It does, to me, it's a parallel. But in our same problem as today, we don't know, as far as we can go back, most of us can, we can't even name our grandfather. Who's your great-granddaddy? Boy, you know do you know where you come from? You don't know. We don't know none of that.
Right.
And sometimes I can go ask some of my elders, and just depend on how they have been conditioned, they won't know either.
Right.
So, not just because they're elder don't mean they know. And that's another thing that I've run into personally is, you know, just because you're older than me, and you know, that don't necessarily mean that, you know, you have spent your time trying to uncover the veil that's been put over us, whether it's
These individuals haven't been productive.
they haven't
That's what
been,
you're saying.
no matter
And
how
so-
successful they are in, like the brother said, according, if you want to hold them to a European standard, you know, maybe they got a nice car, a nice house or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you're doing anything for your people. You could be totally hindering your people just by what you have. With that image that you portray, like you said, the long hair. Now you go and buy these fake hair, these fake nails, and the image that you're portraying to your daughter is that you want to be like that white woman. So now your daughter she don't like nothing natural about herself. Her natural curly hair. She don't like the lips, the thick lips that she have.
So, London, do I hear you saying that African Americans, for the most part, have allowed Europeans to set the standard, standard of beauty for our people?
Yes.
Right. And so if a person is not working in the interest of their people and being productive, they are part of the problem. Is that right?
Brother Teray said it to me the clearest. He said, you either for your people or you're against it. Because he used that. If you see your people, if you see your mother get raped and you do not do nothing about it, you sitting there talk about it or whatever, but you're not doing something to, you know, stop that, then you're with the rapists.
Okay, and we know that based on one's behavior.
On your action.
Ultimately, language is one thing. But ultimately, we know a man or a woman by their works, which is tied into their behavior. Is that right? Talut, Jeffrey said something earlier about the oppressor. Now, let me ask you, if the oppressor is riding your back, he's not going to get off if you don't raise up and throw him off. Is that right? And so, can you tie being productive and working in the interest of your people into throwing off the yoke of the oppressor?
Yes. First and foremost, we need to accept the fact that by the grace of God Almighty, black people in America is at war and has always been at war. We have always had individuals and groups of people fighting to change our condition, and it hadn't stopped. Okay, we just forging ahead right today, right here on this radio program and everywhere else. We can go and start saying change, and eventually we're going to change. Eventually, it's going to be a change. The oppressors, the superior-minded people, those white supremacists, and all those people, they're going to lose, and they know they're going to lose. And the thing about it is, bucking the system. See, you have to buck the system. You can't just go along with everything that people have laid out for you. That's crazy. Buck something. You know what I mean? Don't go along with something. You know, but to go along with everything that people are saying as to us.
Let's put a pin right there.
Sure.
Let's try to get this call so that we don't lose him like we did last time. Come on in, caller. Who's calling? Come on in, Doc Alsabrook.
Yeah, I was noticing y'all was talking about,
Turn your radio down, Doc.
y'all was talking about, swallowing up of a nation, really.
Say it again, Doc.
You're talking about the swallowing up of a nation.
Swallowing up of a nation.
Swallowing up of a nation.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah, you know, and somewhere in the word I read, and the scripture read that a man's name is worth the weight in silver and gold. But that's one of the first things we took from my ancestors, wasn't it? Your name, the way you worship your God, and all that was started was taken from us. And we was given some names, we was under other names that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, strip you down. You know how you strip a floor?
Well,
You strip a floor, right?
That's in Proverbs, or things in Proverbs.
Okay.
I had to do a research to find that scripture, but
Okay.
that has a lot of bearing on the so-called Negro, African American, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. You're absolutely right, Doc.
We as a people, everything about us has been swallowed. We have some of our identity has been lost. Everything about us has been lost. The only way we can get it back is reach back and try to get some resemblance of our heritage, like our name. So I asked a couple of brothers from the continent of Africa, rooted out of it, they see anybody that resembles me, and some of them being Nigerians. They call a few other names around town Nigerians. And I know Nigeria is close to the ocean. So I think it wouldn't be hard if we put our minds on the motherfucker, just like everybody else put their minds on their motherland.
Right.
And we would come up with a better solution than one we got now. So it seems like we just put them straight. It's big, it's looking for a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, you remember Malcolm said that if you were on the continent or among a large group of Africans, one of us, they wouldn't know the difference until we open our mouths. Is that right?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
we were conditioned. We was in chains for a long time. You know, our history was staying up over here. We were given different names for each plant. You even go to another, get sold to another plantation. You had to pick up whatever name that was in there. So our names have really been lost all the way around. Some of us, the portion of us know our great grandparents, like I know my great grandfather.
Right. Okay, thanks, Doc, for your call. As usual. Talut, you were speaking. Finish your statement. Omar said something interesting. Then I want to go to Omar. Listen, we've got 10 minutes. Well, actually 9. So let's move with quickness.
Yeah. The thing that we have to do, and we must do, we have no choice in the matter. We have to free ourselves. Okay? We have to get away from label. See, we are laborers. And our ancestors, and we do too, work in labor camps, even today.
Yeah.
Sweat camps, labor camp, tough labor, that's what we do. We don't do nothing else.
Especially here in Memphis, you see them all over the Mid-South
Yes.
in these warehouses.
But
And you see the
Absolutely.
what are these groups that take over and do all the hiring and setting up where you go in and make that little temporary company service,
Yeah.
right?
So we have to get, even though we're trapped in that right now,
Yes.
we can have a different mindset about it.
Yes, a mind change.
We don't have to accept
Yes.
the conditioning. We can take the job, work the job,
Yeah.
but in our minds, we want to do much better, and we're willing and we're searching for ways to do better, to come from up under the shackles of labor camps, slave labor camps. Okay?
So that-
And finally,
Go ahead.
finally, we do have an example of a free people in America, and we should pattern ourselves after as far as government and things of that nature. That's the Native Americans. See, we should do or establish ourselves exactly like the Native Americans are. Okay? We could have our own government, independent. We can have our own legal system, court system. We can do all of that ourselves. We don't have to be confined or held down by some other people who hate us and who's doing everything they can to rid the nation of us. This land doesn't belong to them. It belongs to God. It's everybody's land. But if you submit yourself to the forces of another people, that's your problem.
Omar, you were saying something. But that sounds, my interpretation, as I listen to Talut, I'm hearing for myself. If I'm working in one of these slave labor camps, that I won't be here long.
That's right.
I'll be getting on up out of here. So I must have short range, long range goals. I must have a plan of action. I must also have, most of all, an exit plan onto the next plan. So, Omar, is this education? Is this, you said something about economics. So should our economics be tied, African Americans, tied into education in this way that we're speaking right here, and say something about modern day chains? CHAINS.
You know, what Dr. Ostabrook said was absolutely correct. He had chains on us a long time. But when they took the chains off of our arms and legs, they didn't take the chains off of our minds. That's why it's brainwashed.
Right.
We still got chains on our minds. Of course, right now, these are stainless steel chains with little gold and silver sprinkled on them. But they're still chains.
Yeah.
So
this is the part of the tricks
Yes.
that African Americans fall into.
Yeah.
A little glitter and just a little bit of imitation. Look at go. Go ahead.
Have a little mink around the
Yeah,
cuffs.
yeah.
Right.
And make sure it fit.
Yeah.
But it's still chains.
Yeah.
And we won't ever free ourselves unless we do like Dr. Luke was talking about. We got to set up our own economic base. And right now, they call the inner city food desert because it's hard to go find a place where you can find green vegetables or wholesome food.
Yes.
We can change that green desert into a real oasis if we take our money and put it together and start doing something for ourselves. You know, with $1.3 trillion in our community, there should be nobody unemployed. I heard Mr. Farrakhan say the other day that if we took all our money and moved to some of the southern states and just took them over, we'd be the 9th wealthiest country on earth, above most European countries. We'd be the 9th wealthiest country, but we give our money to everybody else that don't look like us, and then we ask them and beg them for a job.
Yes.
Something wrong with that.
That is absolutely.
We got to fix that.
Yeah, and Omar, that is absolutely what?
Insanity.
Insanity. Now, Omar, have you read or heard about or been exposed to the psychological chains and images of slavery by Naim Akbar?
Yes. Yes.
And what, real quick, we've got 6 minutes, and let's go around the table and give our take on this whole, and how we, through education and economics, erupt, raise up, and throw off the yoke of the slave master.
You know,
Kick him out of here.
there are 9 areas of human endeavor, and I'm just going to hit one because I've been dealing with the ministry since I was a Baptist Sunday school teacher. And I know that the primary yoke of oppression that black people suffer today is religion. If we could go back and get our religion that we had before they put us on that damn slave ship, then we could free ourselves right then, overnight.
Okay.
And until we throw that religion in the trash can, and I'm gonna say it like this: there was a show Dr. Phil Donahue had, and there was some white nuns on the show, and what he was talking about is how that religion affects people's minds, and they said that when they go to different countries, China, Japan, and other European and Asian countries, they bring a Jesus that looks like them, the people in that country. They have an Asian Jesus, a Japanese looking Jesus, a Korean Jesus. But when they go to Africa, it's the only place they can take a white Jesus. Only place.
This confirms what we're talking about, because when you look at the Buddha, he doesn't look like the European.
No.
Well,
So
it is only African Americans who worship and bow down. But let me just say this though. Progress has been made, Talut, because you don't see as many white Jesus, pictures of white Jesus in folks' home today in 2015.
Thanks to
so I think Elijah Muhammad, I think you've alluded to that earlier in terms of the evolutionary process and progress, some things having been done and will continue to be done. Thankfully, with folks like us sitting at the table and pointing out some things, pointing out different direction. Omar, there are 9 aspects of what did you say?
Of human activity that we need, that white people control, that we need to get into.
Okay, what's that key word? Aspects or endeavor? What was it?
Either way.
Okay, 9 aspects of human control.
Labor, religion, law, politics, education, media, and religion. These things we gotta go back and look at, re-examine, and then give our own rendition of how those things affect the justice system.
Okay, so let's do a show on that real soon.
We need to.
Okay, Lonnie, you next. Say something about the psychological chains and images, and let's just throw in there, many African Americans are volunteering to be slaves.
Oh man,
Look, we got to move really quick.
real quick, I seen
We've got 3 minutes. Just take a minute, and a minute.
I seen a video the other day where we had black men and women clinging to the Confederate flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they was defending it with their whole
With their
heart,
lives?
with their lives. And
But
another thing, real quick, I have seen, you know, the current topic is the Nathan Bedford Ford statues going on, right?
Yes.
So
Right.
it's a big talk around it. So I heard a brother say, you know, so what's the big argument or what's the big deal about the statue, right? So that let me know that the public school system has failed this brother because he don't even know how significant this brother is, Nathan Bedford Ford, who he was and what he stood for, and the people that represent him stood for.
okay,
And the last thing I want to say is,
we've got 2 minutes.
it's just like, you know, a hungry, starving man. He's hungry, and then the only thing he has to choose from is a piece of candy or some chips. And that's how I feel our brothers feel out here. We starve. We want some natural food. We want that natural that's good for our body and so forth. All we have is salt, chips, and candy.
Junk food.
Right. So, Talut, we're talking about, in that regard, symbols of power. Is that right? And he was talking about that situation, and we have African Americans on the other end, like these people he's talking about. See you in trouble, won't even throw a phone book like the brother said last week.
Yeah.
Say something about all of this psychological
Yeah,
stuff.
what we have to do
Take 1
is-
minute and let's go to Jeff.
What we have to do is decide on what product or commodity we're going to sell. We have to decide that. And every black man or woman in every home should have a product that they're selling.
Yes.
Okay, and that's our marketplace. That's our only chance of getting out of this problem, this trouble that we're in.
Okay. So when can we call that meeting?
We call that meeting anytime we decide, and we're gonna call the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
we can-
CCT is gonna call the meeting.
Okay. See you Tuesday.
All
Listen, we've got 1 minute, Jeffrey. Say something about psychological chains and images of slavery.